The religion of ancient Egypt starts with the cosmogony, the account of the beginning of the temporal universe. It is recounted that at the beginning the heaven and the earth were united. The earth here stands for the temporal plane of existence, while the heaven stands for the eternal realm. Alluding to this unity, the Egyptian religion says that their waters were united, which implies that both state of consciousness was united. Since God was conceived to be perfect good, that is without any knowledge of evil, hence his transcendence, this unity of evil and good implied that evil was only potential. This conjunction of evil and good is consonant with the very nature of creation in Black culture, where it is not ex nihilo, as in the West. In Africa, to be created is to go from the potential existence to a manifest one. The African cosmogony teaches that potentially everything exists, but only the good had a manifest existence before the beginning. The potential existence is what is called in ancient Egyptian literature the noon. The Egyptian religion teaches that the Most High has endowed his children with free will. The bad use of free will caused the evil to go from potential existence to the manifest one. Therefore, to preserve the purity of heaven, the god Ptah separated the earth, now manifest evil, from the heaven, manifest eternal good. Due to the bad use of his free will, the lost child of God fell in a state of consciousness characterized by chaos and darkness. He has become a non-incarnated spirit groping in muddy water. That is the chaotic original nature of the temporal universe as a consciousness. In the heaven, a conclave of the gods, including the Creator, decided to help the lost children of God. Thus, the god Atum left the heavenly realm to reach the lost children of God. Creation happens in the consciousness of the Creator, like the eternal realm exists in the consciousness of the Most High. In the process of creation, Atum was helped by Ptah. According to James, the author of Stolen Legacy, Atum performed creation after having swallowed Ptah. Now Ptah is represented by the air, the breath, that is, the word. Hence, creation was performed by the power of the divine word. The fact that Atum is prompted by Ptah to create in the name of the Most High reveals the Egyptian principle of Trinity. The unity of the solar Atum and Ptah. The iconographic representation of this Trinity depicts Osiris, Isis, and Horus. Thus, Osiris stands for God. The conjunction of Osiris and Isis represents the wholeness of the divinity of the Logos, and Horus stands in this scene as the child of God. We said above that creation consists in making something go from the potential states of existence to a manifest one. Due to this, the Creator is depicted in Africa as being a potter, an architect, a blacksmith, etc. In all these instances, the original material of creation is already available. The creator doesn't create it, but he only gives it a form. Alluding to this, a Congo proverb say, Nzabi umba ulakwa nikavanga. This means that as a potter gives a form to a lump of clay, the creator did only have the non-incarnated spirit to take a temporal manifest form in order to begin the ascension back to the heavenly plane. Creation is a process, a journey out of an abyss. This abyss is portrayed in the imagination of the Black people as an eddy of water, spiraling clockwise and situated in the east. The east here is the land where the sun rises, Africa, the motherland of humanity. This is the meaning of the black hole in the cosmology of the Africans. It is the locus of the temporal universe. Thus, by turning clockwise, one falls in the black hole, while the counterclockwise ascension is a movement out of the temporal realm to reach the heaven. By turning away from God, the lost child of God has lost the manifest expression of his divine childhood. That is the expression of the fullness of the divinity. This fullness is symbolized by the conjunction of the male nature and the female. However, due to the transcendence of God and due to the fact that potentially everything exists, the divine nature of the child of God, that is you and me, is still in him, but reduced to a potential state. According to the Egyptian cosmology, everything in the temporal realm is only the manifestation of its true nature in the eternal realm. The temporal realm is only a dream from which the lost children of God have to be awakened by the loving presence of God surrounding him, and by the loving presence of God inhabiting him. Thus we know that like in God's, human beings were conceived as being male and female. That is, as including the divine completeness, the Word. Horus is this loving presence of God in the human being, the temporal expression of Ta, the Word. To express this nature of Horus, the Egyptian Book of the Dead portrays him as affirming, I'm Horus, the inhabitant of the heart, in the inhabitant of the body. Moreover, Horus is the advocate of Osiris Ani, pleading his right to become an Osiris, a manifest child of God, because he has lived a life of purity. We are thus taught that Osiris Ani could not reach salvation by his own means. In other words, salvation in ancient Egyptian religion is firstly through the Word by the agency of Horus. However, since in the heavens, the gods are respectful of the free will God has endowed his children with, Salvation is secondly through one's sanctification of his being. We have said above that any text of the Egyptian religion is either intended to show the practical import of its doctrine, that is, how to regain the lost manifest expression of the divine childhood, or it is intended to hide the divine truth from the foreigners, that is, the inquisitive Grecian students. How can we distinguish these two natures? In order to distinguish these two intents of the Egyptian writer of spiritual doctrines, we must know that according to Dilalowa, the modern Academy of African Traditional Spirituality that we founded and manage, the religion of ancient Egypt is an exact science. This scientific nature is demonstrated by establishing the congruence which exists between this religion and the Kemetic cosmological argument.